Gemini. Hello, Gemini. Welcome. This is Infinite Fire Readings. This is the week ahead for you, Gemini. Good to have you here. Could be maybe even the month ahead. It is June coming up. Literally tomorrow. What even happened to this? We don't even need to answer that question. This year has been a time. Gemini, good to be here. Glad you are here. Welcome. Thank you so much. It could be if you have Gemini in your chart, you might be cross-watching for a Gemini. All are good by me. Whatever works for you, Gemini. Yeah, this is going to be the week ahead. So I read past to future with current in the middle, or for the whole week. You'll see that as I go. I will be starting with 5 cards from this more traditional deck to get the situation. 5 more cards from the Wild Unknown Tarot to get advice, and then I'll get at least one The Universe Has Your Back Oracle card. Just keep in mind that these are just cards. Free will does come first. It is a general reading for Gemini, so take what works and throw out the rest. If it doesn't fit, it might just not be your reading. You might want to check out your other signs. And this reading is for your entertainment. Cool, so let's get into it, Gemini. After this, I'm probably going to eat some noodles. I just want to announce that. I'm in a Sunday mode today. I've got my second cup of tea. Let's do this, Gemini. Happy to be here. Thank you for joining as well. And bear with me while I get my brain wrapped around everything, which takes all day. So anyway. All right, Gemini, let's get into it. I might give it, no, I'll go from here. I feel pretty good. Actually, I want one more shuffle. I'm taking my time with them because I want them to be good. I want the readings to feel good and feel right and fit well. Gemini. All right, let's do it. What's happening? Week ahead, please, for Gemini entering June. What's going on, please, for Gemini? What have we got? The 3 of Cups coming up here. That's nice. That's good energy to start with. So maybe feeling like you want to be social, wanting to celebrate with things. That's pretty cool. Wanting to maybe just communicate again. That's a nice start to the week or whatever's going on. Maybe in your current energy, whatever's resonating. Next up, we have 2 cards that came out. Oh, no, I was wrong. We had 3 cards. Oh, okay. Things might shift a little bit. Right. Okay, so the Knight of Swords here, Gemini, coming up next. So maybe some kind of abrupt communication or just going headfirst into things a little bit intellectually. Knights are air signs. They could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. It could be yourself, Gemini. It doesn't have to be, though. Knights are also inexperienced, assertive, masculine, and action-based energy. They can be quite blunt and to the point. So interesting. At first, when I got these cards, I was like, whoa, like, is this, do I want to read this? Is this right? But it's sort of making sense now, actually. Interesting. Maybe something gets said that's a little, that's a lot. Okay. I'm fine with that. All right, Gemini. So you do have the four of Wands in the middle, current energy. So like either feeling connected with maybe some kind of lover or just feeling unified with people in your life as well. It doesn't have to be a partner. Could be a partner though. And I also view it as the home card in this deck, even though it's not necessarily that. It can be about getting out of the house. I don't know, not really. But I just view it that way because of current situation. But yeah, feeling unified, maybe a marriage that you're dealing with or just a coupleship as well. Really, really interesting. There's a tower moment as well that's coming here for you, Gemini. So interesting. Maybe something was said that was a bit hasty regarding a partnership. I don't know. Or someone came in quick and abruptly for you. It's interesting. This is an interesting spread. The tower coming up here. So something happening to crumble the tower, shake the foundations of things, even crumble them to the foundations, crumble the tower to the foundations. In my head, I was like, maybe your Minecraft building falls down. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help it. I'm doing so much Minecraft. The 5 of Swords in the reverse as your final card as well. That was very fluffy, Gemini. I'm going to go over this a bit better for you. These cards flustered me. They actually flustered me. 5 of Swords in the reverse is good, though. That's not wanting conflict, not wanting to have arguments. It can be an avoidance of conflict, but I'm seeing it differently in this case. So I'll go over it again in a second, now that I've sort of assessed it all a little bit more. Do I need to sneeze? Sorry, I tried to mute that. I don't know if it muted. I apologize if it didn't because that was very loud. I'm so sorry. It just had to come out. All right, so your energy coming into the spread, Gemini. You've got the Five of Pentacles, maybe feeling a little bit left out in the cold, or maybe just even feeling introverted as well. With the Emperor, which is the card of Aries, and it's also the card of stability. Maybe you're feeling sort of both alone but independent. You could be dealing with an Aries. You don't have to be. The Lovers, okay. Really interesting. Lovers is your card, Gemini. So you could be dealing with an Aries and a Gemini, which is pretty interesting. Just in your energy, it could be something good like a lover situation. Death, card of Scorpio as well, coming into play here. So maybe going through some kind of transition as well. Really interesting. I almost feel like this is you just feeling like sort of on your own or introverted, but maybe you're feeling quite stable. Maybe feeling like you're in your own element as well, or making good decisions and going through a bit of a transition for whatever reason. Maybe not working at the moment as well, whether that's today or just in general. I don't know. Too many cards probably, but interesting energy coming in here. Based on what's going on, I feel like you might be in some kind of partnership, or dealing with someone that you're quite close to as well. With the Lovers card coming up here, even though it is a card of you, Gemini, it's also about loving connections, and it can be about decision making. Scorpio about transformation. Maybe you're in some kind of a connection that's going through some kind of transformation as well, even though you're sort of maybe in your own space, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. But maybe you are feeling left out in the cold around that connection. Anyway, I'm going on way too long about the bottom of the deck, Gemini. So let me take a minute. I'm just going to have a sip of tea. This is going to happen. All right. So let's look at this. From what I can gather from everything that's sort of come up here, I feel like maybe you are communicating or being more social at the moment, probably with people that you really care about, feeling good. Maybe some things were said a little bit abruptly within a connection, and it might have shaken the foundations a little bit, or shaken the tower. But I feel like you don't want conflict. And I think this might have been an accident if something like that did happen, or just not quite the planned, not quite what was intended. I'm going to look at it through by through as well. That's sort of the energy that I am getting from it. Interesting on the bottom, though. It's funny because both the Aries and the Gemini card are coming up, and I have a very significant Gemini in my life. So I just find that very interesting. Anyway, moving on. All right. Let us check out your spread, Gemini. It's not about me. It's about you guys, okay? So, yeah, being social, I think that from what it looks like, just collaborating, communicating more so than collaborating, maybe having a drink or two with some people. Interesting, though, with feeling left out in the cold. It could have been because of what was said, maybe regarding a situation, but feeling stable in what you said, and maybe needing to make a decision as well. There's a lot that could be happening there. Yeah, maybe during those conversations, someone came forward with some kind of a truth. It could have been yourself. It could have been someone else. It might have been out of the blue. It might have been abrupt as well. And that was maybe to do with some kind of a connection, like an intimate connection, maybe to do with lovers. Maybe someone came forward with some wanting to, be with you, or you wanting to be with them. I'm not sure, but it's definitely to do with close connections, partnerships, and things like that. That's in the middle, and it feels good. I don't feel inherently bad about this energy, but I think things are definitely shaking up a little bit. Then the Tower card comes in here. So maybe sort of something got said maybe that caused things to get a little bit like to come crumbling down. Tower card's usually quite significant. It doesn't have to be negative. You could be going through some kind of, could be a positive change, but usually they shake the foundations. They can be quite surprising as well, Tower cards. So interesting. And then, in your final card, you have the Five of Swords. So not feeling like you want conflict around something, not coming forward to create that kind of, disharmony. I do feel like this is to do with some kind of a discussion that happened where maybe something was said to do with a partnership or someone you're close with that caused the foundations to be, threatened. And then you're not wanting that conflict. Like, I feel like it was sort of a mistake or an accident. Let's get you some advice, though, Gemini, because I'm not 100% sure if that's how I am, if that's the best way to read this or whatever, but I kind of feel like that's what's going on, which is interesting. But yeah, you could be sort of feeling stable in yourself, wanting to make decisions about love as well with those energies on the bottom there, but maybe being a little bit in your own space right now as well. So let's check it out. Let's check out what's going on for you, Gemini. Okay. I think I don't know how many more shovels. I might do a couple more. I'm just going to take my sweet time. I don't want to rush it. If you want to skip ahead, post, you are more than welcome to if that works for you. I know I do that sometimes. But yeah, I just want to get a good shuffle in. Hopefully you don't skip ahead though. If it gives you comfort. Sometimes the sound of shuffling cards can be nice. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know. I sort of want to shuffle a little bit more. This is advice I'm getting, so I want it to be nice and good. I'll do one more and then we're good. I know it's a lot, but I'm just doing it the way I want to do it now. That's it. I don't want to rush things. Okay, Gemini, what advice do you need for this situation, please? Looks like a social one, maybe an intellectual one. Again, I forgot to mention that knights are, I might have mentioned it, knights are assertive, masculine, inexperienced, and action-based. I just think it was maybe something came out that was not of the best judgment. Mother of Wands. Okay, so in the reverse as advice. Interesting. That's very interesting. I don't think I fully can comprehend what's happening in this story. For whatever, if this is resonating, I don't think I know the ins and outs of it. Mother of Wands could be a fire sign to start with, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's in the reverse. Mothers are usually quite receptive, feminine. Mother is the queen as well, emotion-based and experienced. Though it's in the reverse, so it could be needing to release someone. Maybe someone's been a bit funky. It's interesting they fell out kind of in the reverse. But I want to draw them this way. I haven't seen what's under them. But that's the correct way to draw them. This is an interesting reading. I'm feeling nervous to do this reading, and I don't know why. It's like I want to get it right, but it's like it's just cards. Give me a minute, Gemini. I'm just going to look over this for you. All right. Okay. So the way I'm viewing this story for whoever or whatever this is resonating with is what I said before. I think some kind of communication did come across that might have just sort of shaken the situation, and it wasn't the intention. I really don't think that you or whoever this was meant to do that. The advice is it's quite interesting. It's sort of about amending it from what I can see. But I think it's going to be less involved than like you might think, or that, in case you're like worried, I feel like it's going to be a quicker fix than it looks like. So let's get into it. To start with, the Three of Cups. So feeling really social, getting that good vibe energy, and then, coming forward with that abrupt communication as advice. So if you are being social at the moment, that's, for one, I think that's great, as long as you're healthy and safe about it. Let's just be real with the situation. Obviously, of course, I think that's a given. But the Mother of Queen of Swords in the reverse is interesting. It could be a couple of things. It's really interesting if it is a person, though. So it could be one of two things. One, you might need to just stop trying to be this creative, like spontaneous, radiant queen of Wands, but this is a Gemini reading, so I'm not feeling that. It could be that you might need to sort of disconnect a little bit or take a step back from a fire sign in your life, so Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. That might have been where this happened with. You might just need to step back for a minute and just take a minute to just sort of assess everything that's happened, or see what you've gone through within what's happened, like what was said or whatever. You might just need to step back from this person. So it could also just be someone who's generally fiery, passionate, creative, very self-expressive, likes to travel, spontaneous. It could be that kind of energy. Maybe they're shut down right now. Maybe they're a bit fiery. I'm not sure. I'm not really feeling that. I feel like maybe it's just whoever this person is, you might just need to step back from them just for a minute. I don't feel like it's permanent. I'm not seeing that really. It could just be that you need to disconnect socially from them, like, just take a day or take a half a day. I don't know. Just take a minute to process what's going on. If you did come forward abruptly, or someone came forward abruptly with some communication, I do feel like it could have been yourself, Gemini. It might have been someone to do with you though, so take it as it resonates. And it was a little bit blunt. If you're sort of a little bit worried about how that's looking within the connection, or if it's really shaken things up a little bit with this Tower moment here, the advice is actually to be optimistic. So it's the Sun card, which is beautiful. Again, they're just cards. Take what resonates. So I really like this. If you've said something that maybe was like, whoa, and it shook a few people, this is just like, give yourself the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I think character comes before anything else. So you might have a certain type of personality. This might be a long-winded example. I don't know. Say, for instance, someone that's like, hey, how are you? La, 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 always happy. But then they don't follow through with things, or they don't, like, they speak about people behind their back, and you find that out, and everyone has the same rap. That's their character coming through. Even though their personality is like, I'm really happy, their character shows otherwise, how their actions and intentions. So what I'm saying here is, if you said something abruptly, or someone said something abruptly to you, though their character tends to be that of like really caring about friendships and being there and being a huge support, this says be optimistic. So if that's you and you're usually there for this person and you usually show the good and you've demonstrated that through the connection, this is saying just remember your character rather than what this little blip, because we all make mistakes, or say things that don't always get received well, because we're all human, and everyone's in different moods on different days and going through different stuff. So if you can just keep that in context and give yourself the benefit of the doubt, if you did say something, that is the advice that I'm getting here. So just keeping that in context, you're not a failure for saying one thing once it was off, even if it wasn't pleasant or whatever. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. I just noticed that then. It could really just being about giving yourself the benefit of the doubt here, or whoever this is, if it's flipped. Next up, Gemini, the Four of Wands. So I feel like this could be a partnership again, or some kind of really close connection, maybe a really good friendship that this happened with. Wands is, again, love, marriages, celebrations. Not always love, but it's seen as the twin flame card in a lot of decks and things like that. The Lovers card, even without being the actual Lovers card, which is yourself. The advice is the Father or the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So I feel like this is yourself again, Gemini, even though it could be someone else. So I'll go over that too. I'm sort of feeling like it's how you can approach things a little bit. So if it is to do with a connection, maybe needing to step back from someone as well, maybe that person that it's linked to, I sort of feel like they are interconnected here. The King or Father of Pentacles in the reverse, for one, could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. You might need to disconnect from someone like that just for a little bit as advice, whatever that resonates, doesn't have to be. Kings are usually assertive, masculine, experienced, and power-based energies. The King of Pentacles is a very grounded energy. So it could be whoever fits that profile. If you know that and you need to step back and it's a very close connection, it could be to disconnect a little bit. I'm not actually getting that from this spread though, so I just wanted to say it because it could be a meaning. And I know there's multiple meanings that can be gained. Though what I think this means, instead of that, Gemini, or as well as whatever, is to not necessarily come forward with offers right now. So if you are the kind of person who, to fix things, maybe you just want to go and buy them a coffee, or you want to give them a gift, or you want to spend time, that's another 3D thing, even though it doesn't seem like it because it's something that's measurable by movement. This is almost saying don't act on it right now. like sort of just let it be what it is. And we'll get to it because I think there's communication that needs to happen, but not action, if that makes sense. So it's less about trying to like, I feel like if you act on it, it might make it bigger than what it is, you know? And this is more about communicating later. So we'll get to that. But yeah, if you're stepping into it, this is, take a step back. Don't act on it. Don't feel like you have to go out of your way to fix this thing that's happened. That's really what I'm getting from this card. Again, it could be just that it could be roles reverse, swap it if you want, but I do feel like that. Just letting this connection breathe just for a second. Even if it seems trivial or you're worried it's bigger and you want to fix it, just give it a moment because if it's a good solid connection, I don't think 5-10 minutes or half a day or even a whole day is really going to throw it, depending on the situation. I don't quite know what happened or what was said, but I think it was just something that was said rather than done. So don't come forward trying to like King of Pentacles that like give them a $50 note. Like that's obviously not what you're going to do, but don't feel like you have to give them a gift or something. Just step back again. It's about pacing it, staying optimistic, giving it space. All right. So Tower moment might have come in. So things might have been like, whoa, something was said with this connection, and maybe this person or yourself, it sort of was like, oh, that did not resonate. That did not feel good. Maybe they were taken aback, or they were like, that's not me, or something like that. Or you were taken aback, whatever. It just feels like something got rattled that maybe hadn't been rattled before. Or maybe it's not that new of a connection. I'm not sure, but it seems like it's something kind of significant here. In any case, even if it's new, it still means a lot. If it's not new, maybe it's just territory that you hadn't really crossed before, And anyway, it shook the foundations and had a tower moment because maybe it was a new moment for something like this to actually have any effect on the connection. That's what I'm feeling. Again, the reason I say don't give, the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse is advice. So Ace in the upright, physical things coming in from the universe, gifts coming in that are sort of just out of the blue sometimes. In the reverse, don't expect gifts or don't give them. That's what this can mean as well. Don't expect them to give to you for a second. But I think this is your energy. Don't give to them right now. Not in a mean way, just take it back. Take it back a step. And again, you don't need to feel like you need to come in with offers. Just let it crumble, because it doesn't mean that the relationship's going to crumble. What it means is that the expectations of, I guess, like it's always going to be harmonious and there's no possibility of having an argument ever. That's just not true. Even if we really connect with people and we are on their level, sometimes you get your wires crossed. Sometimes it just does. Sometimes you don't see things in the same way. And depending on people's emotions and vibes at the time, they're just going to clash sometimes. I've had this with very, very close friends, and I'm still close friends with today. Bless and thank you. We definitely sometimes get our wires crossed, and we're good with our communication, and we address it as soon as we can, for the most part. I think, again, this is an interesting time. And I know I have stuff to work on at the moment, actually. I am working on it, though, so that's good. But yeah, it's sometimes just things don't always mesh. So don't come forward with offers. Thank you for the thumbs up again. I just noticed that. Sorry, sometimes I don't look at my screen. Yeah, so back on track. You don't always have to come forward with offers. Just let it do its thing. That's okay. It doesn't mean the end of everything, okay? So don't blow it up to be bigger than what it is what I'm saying. So I'm rambling. And I'm working on my connections. I feel funny that I said that. It's just a funny time. Like, I just think that socially, sometimes I don't know what's going on right now. I definitely am sort of feeling that. Anyway, that's not your terrain, but I'm saying it's kind of normal that things can be a bit like, what, at times. But this is different. I feel like this is a connection that feels like relatively that hasn't happened before. So yeah, it's okay that that's happened. I'm going to move on because I'm sort of rambling. That's what I'm feeling. Don't give offers. So anyway, Gemini, if you are avoiding conflict as well, just giggling at myself. That's fair enough, because you're probably just going, well, I didn't know that was going to be an issue. Like, why is this an issue? Or what does this mean? Like, this doesn't feel good. I don't like this feeling. Usually we're fine. What's going on? So, but I don't feel like you're wanting to maybe you're feeling like, whoa, like I shouldn't have. Why did I do that? Like, why didn't I think that through? I didn't word that well. I don't think it was anything malicious. I just think that it was like, and then it's like, oh, really? That's kind of the energy I'm getting. This is showing me that you don't want conflicts. I don't think they want conflicts. It is slightly avoidant, but I don't think it is. I think it's just avoiding stuff that's not going to be beneficial to the connection. I think you don't want to just have an argument about it for the sake of it. I think you know that, and not coming forward with stuff is healthy in that you give it time to process. So not wanting to have conflicts. The advice is actually the 8 of Wands in the upright, which is great. So whereas I said don't come forward with physical, tangible gifts right now to fix it, because I don't think that needs to happen. I think communication has to happen, and quickly and to the point. But not I wouldn't say like rush it, but I think like after you process it and you give it the space to breathe, and don't just come forward because you're panicking. Once you give it that minute, if you are worried about conflicts, you can just go, look, about what I said, I just want to say, I'm sorry. I did not mean to upset you. I really care about our friendship, and, I love you, whatever it is you need to say, or something like that, or just tell it how it is from your end, and just calm and clear, not expecting shit in return, whatever it is. I mean, you can be open to it. I'm not saying that. Of course, we want the person to be on the same page, but don't, come into it just telling it how it is from your end. You're not trying to fight them or anything. I don't think you want that. But you can be very forward and direct, and it doesn't have to be intense. It can just be that, like, hey, I just want to say about before, like, just wanted to check in, like, didn't mean to upset you and really care, blah, 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 And I think you'd be surprised. I'd probably be like, that's fine. Like, we would just, I get it, whatever. Let it come through this phase. Let it come through into something good. I just feel really good about it. I think that communicating is important, though. Thank you for the thumbs up again. I really appreciate that. Glad that it's resonating. So just keeping that in mind, Gemini, as well. And it's not like you're going to have conflicts by addressing it, okay? It's just addressing it because you care. It's a good thing, really. It's good to be communicate rather than push it under the table, because that can cause more anxiety in the future. If this happens again, you're going to be, oh my gosh, like, why is this happening? Just address it. We're human. Anyway, so I shouldn't giggle. Just if you come forward now, it's going to take that weight off of this entire thing a little bit, I think. And just, I'm rambling a bit, but you don't have to have conflicts to communicate about it. Just come forward, be honest, be real. That can avoid conflict. That doesn't have to be confrontational. It can just be being real. I think I've said the point. I think you get it. Let's get you an affirmation card because, but I feel you, Gemini. It's annoying. It's annoying when these things happen, to say the least, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's frustrating because you're like, like, I didn't fucking mean to. Anyway, I feel you. So didn't mean to make that happen. All right, let's get you an affirmation card from the universe has your back, and then we'll let it go. I definitely need to eat food at some point relatively soon. I was going to do it next after this reading, Gemini. I'm just going to have some mee goreng. Nice, healthy noodles. So not healthy. Maybe I'll chuck some veg in there. Could just do pasta. Anyway, let's get you a card. Sorry, Gemini, I'm just rambling now. I'll do one more shuffle and then we'll draw it for you. Then we'll draw your card. And look, I think you're on top of this. Just give it space. That's sort of what I'm getting from the cards. Just not huge, just a little bit. Get your thoughts and go, okay, this is what I want to say. Done. Let it go. Move forward. Really, that's sort of what I'm feeling about this. I don't think it's that serious. I just think it's from what the cards are showing me anyway. You know what's going on, not me. But that is what I'm getting. Take it as it resonates. Throw out what doesn't work. All right, for Gemini, please. The week ahead. There we go. Okay, there's more than one coming out every time. It's not what I want. It's fine. Beautiful. Super relevant. Oh, this one came out for, the second card came out for Taurus as well. You might want to check out the Taurus reading. I don't know. What you've got here, Gemini. So my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. I am not making that up. Okay? Beautiful. So again, this really resonates with the Sun card. Just stay optimistic about it. I feel like it's okay. It's okay. I do. I just feel like it doesn't have to be everything. It's just a blip in the relationship blips, that happen. Really, like I really feel like that's the case. The next one is oneness is my true nature. So I feel like this is coming up when there could be, again, getting focused on like, oh, no, this happened, and oh, my bills, and oh, like that. Like, not that it's about bills, but getting really focused on this life. Sometimes it's easy to forget that you are just a little blip in a universe twirling around the sun. The universe isn't twirling around the sun. That's very old school. The galaxy is twirling around. Multiple galaxies are twirling around. You are so. It doesn't mean that you're not valid and that your feelings don't mean anything, but just step back for a second from your life and just connect with a tree. Really, it's like simplify, because it'll just take that weight off all of the emotional, oh my gosh, this means everything. It's like, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And it's not taking it away from your feelings, which are valid. It's just reminding you that there's so much more to life than this moment. Like, if this is this going to mean anything in 5 years, if you can traipse through it successfully? I just feel like probably not. I think you're going to be like, yeah, I did good in that situation. But I feel like it's not as, like, just connect with the stars again. Come back into being present rather than in here. A little bit. That's what I'm feeling. And all the woes and worries. You could need to meditate as well. It did come out for Taurus. Oneness is my true nature. Though again, my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. So just remember that. Have faith in yourself to navigate this, okay? I feel like it's going to be fine if you just give it that breather and then just communicate directly and just get on with it. Really, I do. I think that if you know this person, it seems like a strong, good connection. And I think that you just need to just say what's on your mind, just check in, and then that is beautiful. That's a really good action. And then let it go, really. And then you'll see that it might strengthen things. You might sort of learn about each other as well. So I don't know the ins and outs of it, and take what resonates. I feel like I am fluffing on a little bit, but yeah, there you go, Gemini. Have faith in it. You can get through it. Just communicate directly and just reconnect with life a little bit. Just go for a walk, maybe. Okay. Just take a bit of you time. Seriously, breathe some fresh air, not that heater air if you're in cold, parts of Australia. That's so vague. So random. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here. Please do like and subscribe if you like my content. Again, I really do appreciate it, and I'd love to see more of you, and it really helps my channel grow. So it means a lot to me. It's always a pleasure and an honor to read for you. Have a wonderful space time wherever you are, and I will catch you next time. I'm going to move on now to Cancer. That's next. All right. See you, Gemini. Bye.